With FDA concerns prompting corporate crackdowns on wellness advocates, web-based efforts at retailing and recruiting are anemic, at best. Now what? Facebook groups have gone underground and are dying on the vine. Websites went dark overnight, at least the smart ones did, while some unknowingly, or defiantly, seek to fly under the radar and risk conflict with company lawyers due to unauthorized use of intellectual property. But this is still the age of the internet, and it now takes an exceptionally enterprising entrepreneur to successfully straddle the fence between digital leverage and a devastating lawsuit. So, how can you duplicate your time and multiply your efforts with a 24/7 online resource center designed to educate and motivate when you can't even mention products without a compliance violation? How do you leverage technology and exploit the power of digital media without receiving a certified mail cease and desist letter from company attorneys? Of course, there's always the replicated website everyone else has. But that's just it. Everyone else has it. How do you distinguish yourself from every other face in the crowd? Where's the credibility when you merely have a carbon copy of an admittedly antiquated and ineffective approach to internet marketing? Indeed, these old-school methods of using plain vanilla websites that read like an encyclopedia just don't cut it anymore. When you spill all your candy in the lobby, you no longer have any value to prospective business partners or would-be customers. Clear your head and just think about it for a minute. There's no longer a need for them to dialogue with you when your website already told them everything they wanted to know, and then some. This is basic sales strategy 101. If you do a brain dump for people, their next move is to say, "Thanks for the information. I'll think about it." It's primitively defensive and unconscious at the most primal knee-jerk level, so they can't help but say, "I'll get back to you." 9 times out of 10, they don't. And especially if your website is a complex compilation of every fact on the topic known to man, it could be worse. They may have little interaction with your website at all, deciding instead to come back to digest it all when they have the time. They never will. And in case you missed the real consequence, here's the rub. You have no clue who these people even are. You could have 1 million people visit your brain dump style website, but if you don't know who they are, it's all for naught. 100% worthless. They came, they went. They bailed, and you are none the wiser, unable to follow up with them even if your life depended on it. Oh, and the days of lame contact me offers, static opt-in forms, and chasing people with lead magnets as they exit stage left are gone. Exit pops might have worked well in 2005, but a decade later, not so much. Besides, if you're trying to engage someone after they've gotten what they came for and now have made the decision to leave your website, it's a little too late. So, what do you do? Easy. Follow age-old wisdom. Perhaps you've heard the admonition not to cast your pearls before swine. This timeless tidbit of wisdom warns against wanting something for someone more than they want it for themselves. It only makes sense. The key is, then, how do you get them to want it? And I mean really want it. Here's a critically related point. People want what they can't have. It's only natural, and they are willing to give something to get it. Truth is, they won't even value it until and unless they're given something in exchange for it. Understand where we're going here? The time to get someone to raise their hand, signal interest in communicating with you, and give up their name and email to establish contact is up front. Let me repeat that and tie this all together for you. People won't value your content if you don't. And you value it by locking it down and requiring registration to access it. You make what you have to share with people more valuable simply by restricting access to it. Secondarily, by compelling registration to access it, you are no longer at the mercy of people who waltz onto your site incognito, take your valuable information, and run. Listen, the bottom line is this. I work with the willing. Money is replaceable. Time is not. So I'll assist anybody, but chase nobody. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So what's the use anyway? Savvy and successful marketers are not afraid to pre-qualify prospects. Better yet, they skillfully exploit technology to separate the wheat from the chaff. Imagine if you could effectively and efficiently leverage a cyber solution to sort and sift through a sea of people to identify the best places to spend your time for the best possible return on investment. Consider if you could only put forth the effort to sow time into people ideally suited and most likely to become a retail customer or member of your team. Moreover, what if you had an internet office complex where there was not only an electronic gatekeeper to only grant admission to serious inquirers, but also a veritable virtual library of methodically organized, aesthetically elegant materials designed to court visitors on autopilot while you sleep? Suppose if your members could use their login credentials to come and go at will. But in this case, you know who they are and can follow up with them, also on autopilot. How much easier would it be if you could snap your fingers and have a sudden, authoritative posture in the marketplace with a virtual boardroom that serves as the epicenter of your essential oil business? How much faster could you grow if you and your team could, at any time of day or night, access every tool, tip, technique, and tactic necessary to catapult your progress to new heights you have never deemed imaginable, in a time frame you never thought possible? Perhaps more importantly, what if you could accomplish all of this without running afoul of the recent, indeed stringent, new company policies, procedures, and guidelines? Let's face the facts. The only way to keep company lawyers from pouncing on you for having a company-branded public website is simply not to have one. See, the crazy irony is that once you truly understand what works online today, you see incredible parity between result-driven web-based marketing on the one hand and the seemingly impossible strict new rules on the other hand. In other words, the company has actually given you a great gift by forbidding static, public, company-branded websites. In the same breath, though, they're pitching you on settling for a generic, replicated website in the alternative. For most people, this will be disastrous. For you, by contrast, it's your golden opportunity to advance at warp speed while others spin in place. First, we've forever given you the keys to the kingdom in now understanding the uselessness of a one-size-fits-all general-purpose website that freely provides all the answers while getting nothing in return. Second, you now intelligently appreciate the fact that it's actually throttled access to high-value content that engages users to cooperate with your simple yet critical request for basic identifying information up front. So you now stand poised to take advantage of the cold hard fact that a password-protected members lounge is the only way to pre-qualify leads, identify true prospects, initiate a dialogue on autopilot, and matriculate folks on the path to retail customer or recruited team member with a self-serve information depot, all under one roof. And what do you know? It just so happens that it's only in such a private setting that you're actually allowed to shamelessly share products anyway. So you no longer have to choose between a stale, replicated website and an illegal one. Quite the contrary. The sweet spot in the middle is the CyberSuite and virtual boardroom. Our password-protected digital business center is a full-service complete arsenal of electronic assets that mimics the classic home meeting. Just as you could freely invite people into your living room for a home meeting, so too can you now invite them into your CyberSuite, and both require your permission. You can meet around your kitchen table or your virtual boardroom and freely discuss products and opportunity. In both instances, you control who participates. Just as you know who's sitting in your living room, you always know who has registered to access your CyberSuite and virtual boardroom. Of course, you have far greater reach with your web real estate, as there are no restrictions of time and place. There are no restrictions on what you can do with your CyberSuite and virtual boardroom either. It's turnkey and plug-and-play ready, as is with over 200 pages of content, top-notch email marketing software that includes a ready-to-launch marketing campaign, professional live chat service, image graphics editor, business builders tools, recipes, detailed product information and imagery, and the means to start a business or purchase product. But you are in full control and can selectively lock content that needs to be protected while having public aspects of your cyber suite where desired and not prohibited. Best of all, your cyber suite will grow over time as your business grows and the company changes. We provide updates as necessary and prudent, so your cyber suite is always contemporary and relevant. I could go on and on, but the take-home message is that it would cost many multiples the asking price to have such a web asset custom built for you. Feel free to take a tour of our demo to see for yourself. Oh, and before I go, I should mention that we've only just covered half of the equation. Not only will you give login credentials, but you'll also get login credentials from us. See, we don't just wind you up and let you go. No, while you're inviting others to log into your cyber suite and virtual boardroom, we are inviting you to log into our EO Marketer Members Lounge. As a professional essential oil marketer, we invite you to come and learn with us the best ways to use your cyber suite for best results.